Embodiment really is an energy, I feel like. It's really an energy, a frequency. It's not about doing, because you would have done those things in that trust step of taking aligned and inspired action to meet the universe halfway. Hello gorgeous souls, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of my videos today. So today's video is all about embodiment, something I get asked a lot, and I'm so excited to share with you today what embodiment is and why this is an important part that is very often missed out in the manifestation process. You'll also have to excuse me, I'm currently recovering from the horrible flu that's been going around, so I do not sound my usual healthy self today. But if you're new here to my channel, then welcome. My name is Emma. I'm an award-winning life coach, 3 times best-selling author, law of attraction YouTuber here on my channel, and I'm the host of the #1 spirituality podcast on iTunes, Spiritual Queen's Badass Podcast. And here on my channel, I cover all things law of attraction, spirituality, and self-help. So not only do I really hope you're going to enjoy this video, but the abundance of videos here on my channel over the last 10 years. So what does embodiment mean, and how on earth does this connect to the manifestation process? So embodiment is also known as acting as if in the manifestation process. And I believe this comes into the 4th step of letting go and surrendering. So the 5-step process, if you're not familiar with my 5 steps, is ask, believe, trust, let go, receive. And I have a video here on my channel under my Start Here playlist, which goes into all of the steps in depth and more into each one. So I will link that down below if you want to learn more about those 5 steps. But essentially in the letting go and surrendering step, what we're doing is embodiment. We've taken our step back because we've met the universe halfway. So now we're magnetizing, now we're receiving. And in that step, we are becoming, we are embodying, we are letting go, surrendering, and knowing that that desire is on its way, it's ours, and we are in a perfect alignment to receive that into our life. So you don't want to be focusing on things like embodiment, in the belief step, for example, or even in the trust step. It's got to be done authentically in that 4th step of letting go. So what is embodiment? Embodying is a becoming, as I like to describe it, is the full embodying process of bringing your desire into the body. That's why it's called embodiment. So bringing it into the body. So with manifestation, we first bring our desires into our aura field, so our energetic field. We then bring it into our mind and into our body. So embodiment really is that last thing before we experience it in our reality. And that's why we do end up manifesting it into our reality, because we bring it into the body, we bring it into that physical form, and we become it. So we are that vibrational match to the manifestation, to the abundance. And this is so commonly missed out of law of attraction practices. A lot of the time people have heard of acting as if. It's a very common tool that is taught in the manifestation sphere. But acting as if is not spending as if. Acting as if is not like just going out and being like, woohoo, I'm the version of myself. I'm spending that money, I'm doing that thing. If that doesn't feel in alignment to you, that's not going to create alignment, a becoming, or embodiment. Embodiment is around feelings, identities, and beliefs. Embodiment really is an energy, I feel like. It's really an energy, a frequency. It's not about doing, because you would have done those things in that trust step of taking aligned and inspired action to meet the universe halfway. So a lot of people see acting as if as just like that version of yourself then and there, going out, spending money, doing things, and then feeling worse afterwards because you've spent money maybe you don't have, or it didn't feel good to invest in that or do that thing. Acting as if or embodiment doesn't have to cost you anything. It's all an energy, it's all a frequency. So I want you to take the focus away with acting as if around what would that person be spending or what would I be doing, and really put it on actually how would they be feeling. What would they be doing each day? What would their habits look like? What time would they wake up? What meals would they be eating? Really think about what clothes would they be wearing? Where would they be going each day? Who would they be hanging out with? This is embodiment. So then you can start to replicate and emanate those things and become that version of yourself. And that is the important part of it. It is the becoming. It is a initiation into that level, into that frequency, and stepping up into that new reality that you want to experience. And another thing that I see very common with embodiment is with our healing and with our practices. So even earlier on in that manifestation process is a lot of the time people will say to me, Emma, I've read all the law of attraction books, I've done all the things, I'm doing all the practices, I've done Hurt, Healing, Healed, I've done the inner work, and no matter what I'm doing, my outer reality is not reflecting all the work that I've done. And I hear you and I see you with this. This is something that I see so often. And do you know what the answer is? Embodiment. If you're not embodying the lessons, if you're not embodying the practices, if you're not embodying the energy, the up-leveling and the thing and walking your talk essentially, you're not embodying what you've done. So you could go around and do 100 self-help books, 100 inner workbooks. But if you are not embodying that work and walking your talk and moving forwards with that, then you are going to be exactly where you were before. Embodiment is so key. And a great example of this is if you were taking 10 supplements, how would you know what is working? Sometimes we throw everything at our desires. We throw everything at healing, everything at our desires, and that is not what embodiment is or actually what is required. Sometimes less is actually more. So for instance, when you have a therapy session or a spiritual healing session, a lot of the time they will say to you afterwards, don't do anything for the next 72 hours, like don't do any other like healing sessions or anything like that. Let this integrate, let this embody. And the reason why they say that is because if we're doing too many activating things and too many clearings and too many healings all in a short space of time, you're not integrating anything. You're not embodying anything. You're just taking 10 supplements at once, hoping that something's going to work, but nothing can actually get to work because it's counteracting and inflicting other things, and you're not embodying the work that you might have paid for in that service or that session. So it's really important that you give your subconscious, your mind, and your body time to integrate and embody the healing that it is doing. If you're just doing constant things one after the other, you're never allowing yourself time to truly integrate or embody. So what are my top tips for embodying the desired reality that you want to experience? So I've spoken about becoming, and it really is an energy. It really is a initiation within yourself. So I gave you some examples earlier, but I want you to sit with these questions and journal down and take your time with this so you can be really intentional. Your answers to these questions. Do I feel like the version of myself who has my desire? And think about what stands in between you and your desire currently. Next, I want you to think about what that version of yourself who has your desire wears each day. How do they feel? What do they do each day? What time do they wake up? Get really specific. How do they feel? Who do they hang out with? What do they wear? Think about what that day in their life as this version of yourself looks like. You could even do, instead of this journaling prompt, actually do like a day in the life and talk about like when you wake up, what you do, what time you wake up, how you brush your teeth, how you eat your breakfast, and then go throughout your whole day until you go to sleep, and then say, right, how much of this am I doing now, and how can I embody that into this reality here and now? So look at what this version of yourself is doing on a day-to-day basis, and then think about how can you start doing that and embodying that here and now. And if you're watching this and you've done the journaling prompts and you feel like, yeah, there's maybe quite a big gap here right now in between the identities and the beliefs that this version of myself has versus who I am now, then maybe you're not in that letting go stage as well. That's perfectly okay. Maybe you're in the trust stage, maybe you're in the belief stage. It's really important that you can gauge where you are with these tools and practices so that you know where you actually are, and you can work with the energy that you're in and release those blocks, take that aligned action, and authentically move into that letting go stage where the embodiment happens. So again, a lot of the time people feel like they're in this waiting room of life, they're waiting for divine timing, when actually this embodiment practice, although it is an action to some degree because you might change things or do things to become that version of yourself, it is more of an energy, it is more of a frequency. So get out of the waiting room of life and embody the reality that you want to experience. Remember, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. So who are you? Are you the embodiment of your beautiful manifestation? So I want you, once you've done your journaling prompts, to get out there, start embodying, start acting as if from this embodiment energy, and start feeling, being, and becoming the version of you who has your desire. But I'll be talking about this so much more over the coming months because this is a big theme of my new book, Aligned Abundance, that comes out on the 8th of April. You can pre-order it now. Huge theme of this book. So I'm very excited to share some powerful meditations, tools, and practices in that book that is going to help you to do just what I've shared with you today. And I will put a link to everything that I've mentioned in this video down below for you. But thank you so much, gorgeous souls, for watching. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I reply to them all. And don't forget you can also join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls, where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. I hope you have an incredible week, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you all in my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love.